हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्कल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशिष मांगे गावे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Good morning, Namaskar. The world, they say, is a book. And if you have not traveled, you have not read enough. Namaskar once again on behalf of Hotel and Restaurant Association of Odisha. This is Shulagna welcoming all of you to the second edition of Odisha Tourism Conclave. The theme of this year's Tourism Conclave is tourism to be the driving force of future economy. And we have the honor to have amidst us His Excellency Dr. S.C. Jameer, Honorable Government of Odisha, as the inaugurator and chief guest. To have His Excellency the Governor of Odisha is definitely an honor for the Hotel and Restaurant Association of Odisha. And we acknowledge the presence of Srimati Aarti Ahuja, IAS, Principal Secretary, Tourism Government of Odisha, Shri Dr. T.K. Chand, CMD Nalco and Chairman, CII, Odisha State, Shri J.K. Mohanty, Chairman, HRAO and CMD Swasti Group, Shri Deepak Rathod, Advisor, HRAO, and Shri Srinivas Subudhi, Secretary General, HRAO. The inaugural session is about to begin, and I would like to hand over the microphone to Shri Rahul Chakravarti, Consultant Tourism, FICCI, New Delhi, and he's going to be moderating this session. Shri Rahul Chakravarti.
His Excellency Dr. S.C. Jameer and dignitaries on the dais. Welcome to Odisha Tourism Conclave 2017. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, tourism has vital linkage effect to the diverse sectors of our economy. We all know that. The state of Odisha, with its multi-tourism product portfolio, needs to position, revamp, and catapult itself to a new level of awareness and reassurance. And that's why we are all here. The luminaries on the dais clearly indicate, ladies and gentlemen, the commitment the state has towards taking tourism to the new trajectory. May I now invite Shri Deepak Rathod to kindly deliver his address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Hotel and Restaurant Association of Odisha, I take the pride and privilege to welcome His Excellency Dr. S.C. Jameer, Governor of Odisha, Mrs. Aarti Ahuja, IAS, Principal Secretary Tourism, Dr. T.K. Chand, Chairman, NALCO, and currently Chairman, CII, Odisha Chapter. My colleague, Mr. J.K. Mohanty, Chairman, HRAO, and Srinivas Subudhi, General Secretary, HRAO. The erudite panelists and moderators, dignitaries of the dais, friends from the print and electric media, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have congregated here for the inaugural ceremony of Odisha Tourism Conclave 2017 and the program beyond. We have divided the program into different sessions deemed pertinent to development of tourism in the state of Odisha. We have amongst us various experts who can articulate on the aspects of tourism trade sector and evolve smart goals for authorities to implement. The program has been divided into 6 plenary sessions. The conclave concludes with a valedictory session where our Honorable Chief Minister Sri Naveen Patnaik ji would be the chief guest. Other dignitaries are the Honourable Minister of Tourism, Government of Odisha, Sri Dr. Ashok Chandra Panda, and Honourable Minister, Revenue and Disaster Management, Government of Odisha, Sri Maheshwar Mahanti. We appeal to all stakeholders and to participate proactively and take maximum benefit from the event. With these few words, I welcome you all to the inaugural session of the Tourism Conclave, Odisha. Thank you. Jai Hind.
May I now request the dignitaries to kindly light the lamp. Thank you so much. May I now invite Sri J.K. Mohanty, Chairman HRAO, to kindly address the gathering. Sir.
Honorable Governor of Odisha, Dr. S.C. Jamir, respected Principal Secretary Tourism, Government of Odisha, Mrs. Aarti Ahuja, respected Chairman NALCO and Chairman CII Odisha Chapter, Dr. T.K. Chand, my colleagues Mr. Deepak Rathore and Mr. Srinivas Subudi. It is a privilege for me to welcome you all to the dais in the second Odisha Tourism Conclave. It is also a privilege to welcome amongst us the President of the Hotel Association of India and the Managing Director and CEO of the Oberoi Hotels, Mr. Vikram Oberoi. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome amongst us the President of the Indian Association of Tour Operators, which is the largest travel trade body in the country, Mr. Pranab Sarkar amongst us. I would also like to welcome proud Odia, who has worked all through in different countries as Ambassador of India and retired as Foreign Secretary, Mr. Amarendra Khatua, who is sitting right in front of us. I would also like to welcome our former Tourism Secretary and who worked in the International Civil Aviation sector, Mr. Vivek Patnaik. We are proud of his contribution in the field of tourism. Friends, during our first tourism conclave held 3 years back, we had made certain recommendations and suggestions to the state government, which resulted in producing one of the most progressive and dynamic tourism policies of the country, which was published last year in 2016. We are sure this would be a great advantage for entrepreneurs and industrialists wishing to invest in the field of tourism and increase the accommodation capacity in the hotel industry. Once we have good hotels spread out over the beautiful tourist locations in the state, the Oberois have got one beautiful hotel in Bhubaneswar. We urge them to come up with more such beautiful hotels in the state. We are sure with good hotels, international chains, the footfalls to the state would definitely take a leap forward. Besides hotel industry, the state government is also giving, for the hotel industry, the state government is, in the new tourism policy, is giving a lot of incentives for building up water sports infrastructure, boating, cruising, water surfing, and ecotourism. The state government is also giving up to 20% capital investment subsidy to tented accommodation, which is for the first time in any state in India has given. Besides this, the state has also budgeted a 5% interest subsidy for the first time in India, up to a limit of 1 crore to small hoteliers, those who want to invest in the MSME and in the tourism sector. You see, if you are getting a loan of 14% at interest, I think 5% interest subsidy is a great incentive for us. There is a 100% reimbursement of VAT for a period of 7 years, 100% reimbursement of entertainment tax, exemption from payment of electricity duty for 5 years, reimbursement of entry tax for new hotel projects, 75% reimbursement for male and 100% reimbursement for female workers on payment of ESIC and EPF for a period of 5 years. No state has ever given such an incentive. Training subsidy is introduced for the first time, 2,000 rupees each for employees in new hotels, 75% exemption on registration charges for tourist transport coaches, reimbursement of up to 75,000 rupees for participation in overseas fairs and festivals. Second Odisha Tourism Conclave, we have invited not only people from the travel trade, but also important members from CII, from FICCI, from TAI, from Utkal Chamber of Commerce, whose suggestions are important for taking Odisha tourism forward. These members are big industrialists, like you see Chairman Nalco with us. These members can also be considered as prospective investors in the field of tourism. Every hotel room added gives direct employment to 3 people and indirect to additional 10. Odisha is endowed with vast tourism potential and can be a tourist destination far superior to most of the other states which have progressed fast in the tourism sector, and this can happen only if we focus our energies of the government and the private sector in developing the tourism sector. The drain of mineral resources of the state can be avoided if tourism is developed. There is no doubt Odisha is rich with its mineral resources below the soil, but Odisha is much richer with its tourism potential above the soil. Today, India gets about 8 million foreign tourists, which is just 0.7% of the world market, and Odisha gets about the lowest, I think, about 7 to 10,000 foreign tourists only, excluding expats and the other business people who come on various corporate activities. When we compare when we compare the tourist inflow to India with smaller countries like Singapore, gets 11 million tourists, Thailand 20 million, Hong Kong 30 million foreign tourists. When we look at larger countries like China, it gets 50 million foreign tourists, and USA gets 70 million foreign tourists. As far as the domestic sectors are concerned, India's domestic tourists is 1.7 billion compared to our neighboring country China. The domestic tourist movement is just double from India, which is 2.5 billion. The theme we have given to this conclave this year is tourism to be the driving force of future economy. We reiterate again that tourism can be the largest employment generator and booster for the Indian GDP, and also having the richest tourism potential in India, Odisha can become the biggest gainer if tourism really taken seriously. As per a report of the Niti Aayog, around 5 crore people are already engaged directly and indirectly in the field of tourism, and with a GDP of INR 6 to 7 lakh crores. The way tourism industry is growing, the figure is likely to double in next 5 years, and Odisha should not lose out. What we propose is government should declare hotels under the infrastructure or industrial status to increase the room capacity in the hotel industry, which in turn will have direct impact on the growth of the tourism sector. India has 0.15 billion classified hotel rooms compared to our biggest neighboring country, China. I again repeat, we have 0.15 billion compared to China, which has 2.5 billion classified hotel rooms. With international tourist arrivals with more than 55 million compared to India, which is less than 8 million. The hotel industry in China is doing much better than the hotels in India. Hotel industry is a highly capital-intensive industry, and the break-even comes after 8 years on a minimum period. Large amount of capital investment is required, and long-term repayment schedule is the only answer for the growth of the hotel industry in the state. Present mode of financing is a major drawback for the hotel industry, and other than the leading chains, the independent entrepreneurs who take loans, they automatically become NPAs and defaulters because 8 years repayment period is too short. For hotels, you need minimum 14 to 18 years repayment schedule because this is a really capital investment industry. One suggestion for the state government is, since the principal secretary is here, I would urge her to take our suggestions a little seriously, is building up a convention center. There is a huge market to tap higher value, that is convention and meeting segment, and Odisha badly needs a global standard convention center which can create tremendous intellectual goodwill across different industries and countries. Getting global conventions and meetings to India in various technologies, science, engineering, medicine, can put Odisha on the world map. The government recently, a few years back, announced that the World Trade Center would come up with a global standard convention center. But this is already 3 years and not much progress has been made. If you compare Odisha with neighboring state Andhra Pradesh, they have got lovely, fantastic international convention center which attracts very big international conferences, and that helps attract a lot of international traffic to Andhra Pradesh. Another segment which has recently come up is the fashion and film tourism. Fashion and film tourism, you see, big corporates, today, garment business is a big business, and international companies are opening up in India. Everywhere they are doing big fashion shows. And to look at fashion shows, you have very strong, high-end international tourist traffic. Same thing is with film tourism. If we can promote Odisha as a film producing destination with our rich tourist scenic places, Odisha can become a hub for big film productions. And I'm happy to announce here, Odisha government has already decided to give 10 lakh subsidy for film producers who produce movies in Odisha. But no single application or nobody has ever approached state government for availing this subsidy. Another suggestion which we would like to put up is Odisha must also start a bird festival. We are all aware Chilka Lake, which is the paradise for millions of migratory birds during the winter season, can attract large segment of bird lovers across the globe. If we can start a bird watching festival in the state to attract the bird lovers. I would like to urge the state government to kindly look into this seriously. Apart from this, yesterday we had a very close meeting with His Excellency Governor of Odisha, who expressed his concern that our culture must be protected. When we promote tourism, the protection of the culture is very important. And we really appreciate his concern that protection of our rich culture and heritage is very important while promoting tourism. We should not become a poor or a third-rate tourist destination. We should always protect our rich culture and heritage while promoting the tourism sector. And Odisha, as you are all aware, is very rich in its culture. The Odissi sarees, the handicrafts, the handloom, the forms of Odissi dances are all things we all Odias know and take pride. But these need to be highlighted in both national and international level to attract footfalls, quality footfalls to our state. Lastly, I would also like to mention here in front of His Excellency that too many frequent changes in the tourism department is one of the major hindrances for continuous growth of tourism. We have too many changes in the secretary and director level, which is pulling the growth of the tourism sector. At least a 3-year term is necessary for continuous tourist growth. If they can do it, it will be good. Otherwise, the government must form a task force to implement a long-term tourism policy, a long-term plan for the growth of tourism to maintain continuity. Unless there is a strong task force, I don't think frequent changes will be helpful for our tourism growth. With these words, I thank once again His Excellency and all members of the media and my colleagues and others who are here present in this August function. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And ladies and gentlemen, important takeaways from what sir has said. Tourism policy of Odisha is going strong. And of course, facilitating investments and of course, incentives on film tourism. Sir has categorically highlighted the need for government and private partnership, the need for a task force, and recognize hotel industry as infrastructure and giving it the status of infrastructure and industry status. Of course, he has also highlighted the multiplier effect tourism has on employment generation and contributing around 9.7% to the GDP of India. Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Mrs. Aarti Ahuja, Principal Secretary Tourism, to kindly make her presentation. Ma'am.
Thank you. His Excellency, the Governor of Odisha, invited delegates, dignitaries on the dais and in the audience. It's a pleasure to be standing here and telling you more about Odisha. But first of all, let me welcome you and welcome you to the soul of incredible India. You're all friends of Odisha. I'm sure you know more about it than I do. And we welcome your continued support. We welcome you to this beautiful state, and we hope to build longer and stronger partnerships with you. So let me start straight away. So broadly, the presentation is in 2 parts. I'll be telling you a bit about what Odisha has to offer, and I'll be telling you a bit about the investment policy. In fact, I must thank Mr. Mohanty for having already acquainted you with the investment policy. It augurs very well for any state when not only the stakeholders participate in the formation of the policy, as happened in Odisha, but when they also talk about it in a public forum and they know more about the components of the policy. So thank you, Mr. Mohanty, for mentioning that, and thank you for all of you for having participated in the formation of the policy. So let me carry on. So I'll be talking briefly about what is there in Odisha and also telling you about what is it that we propose your further intervention could be. So we have nearly 400 odd kilometers of coastline, and I'll be talking more about it. Very recently, we have started a direct flight to Kuala Lumpur. In fact, Tourism Department has partnered with AirAsia for that, and we are getting a very good response, and we are very hopeful the window to Southeast Asia will open. Last year, after the Bhubaneswar airport was declared as an international airport, we've seen a jump of about 90% in tourist footfalls since last year. We have good rail connectivity. The road network in Odisha is one of the best. And of course, we also have these ports, which are fully functional, where we get a lot of traffic. Next. Now, just to give you some hard data, this is from the economic survey. 9% of the growth in tourist arrivals contributed to the GSDP. We have 6% combined annual growth rate of tourist arrivals from 2010 to 15, and the intensity of overnight domestic tourism, I'm sure you all know about it. Odisha is third compared to 418 per 100 households. The intensity of overnight stay for the country, Odisha was 541, which is 29% higher. Next. Now coming to the accommodation, we do not have too many 5 stars, but we do have other kinds of accommodation. We have 2, 3, and 4 stars, approximating to about 1,800 hotels with 75,000 plus beds. Next. Now, what is it when you come to Odisha as a tourist? And we talk of it as an experience, not just visiting a destination, but there's a whole lot of immersive experience that you can have in Odisha. We, of course, have the beaches and nature. We have, as His Excellency also mentioned in the discussions yesterday, we have a very strong heritage that we are very proud of. We have a large forest cover of about 34%, so beautiful, pristine places, wildlife and ecotourism. We have a lot of ethnic tourism. We have 62 different kind of tribes, some of whom are particularly vulnerable tribal groups. We have a very strong tradition of art, handicraft and handloom. In fact, during certain months of the year, each and every house in the state of Odisha, you will find beautiful rangolis made outside. The level of skill, the level of finesse in each person is tremendous. And of course, we have our fairs and festivals. So I'll be talking very briefly about each one of them. Next. We have 480 kilometers of coastline, pristine beaches, and our tagline is scenic, serene, sublime, and that's what you find in all these places. We have the Chandrabhaga beach, which is very famous near Konark temple. We have the Chandipur beach, where you can walk into the beach for about 5 kilometers. Next, we have, of course, the Chilka Lake, which is Asia's largest brackish water lake. And what you see there are the Irrawaddy dolphins, which are found there, very playful. And most of the times you can see there are a lot of islands within Chilka that you can visit. There is water sports. We have the Mangalajodi Bird Sanctuary. In fact, it is, we have birds, Siberian birds coming to Chilka as well as Mangalajodi. And Mangalajodi also has its own birds that stay throughout the year. Wonderful waterfalls, some of which you can see here right now. Next. And of course, our heritage. These are the inscriptions in the Khandagiri and Udaygiri caves, which are right in the heart of the city. I don't think there's any other city where right inside the city you find monuments dating back to the 6th century. And these are 2nd century inscriptions. This is Konark, which is a World Heritage Site. It is a UNESCO protected monument belonging to the 12th century AD. What you see is just a part of Konark which stands. Of course, we have the Jagannath Temple, which is one of the 4 essential dhams for Hindus. Next. And I would like to give you a snapshot of the Rath Yatra, which is happening this year on the 25th, and invite you all to witness this tremendous event, the tremendous outpouring of faith that you see during the Rath Yatra. This is the Ekabra walk that we started recently, and it's become tremendously popular. It's a heritage walk that starts every Sunday and covers the old part of town. And those of you who are interested, tomorrow morning, I'd strongly urge you to please attend this. And if we can have the list of names who are coming, we'll arrange a special guide for you. Next. This is the Lingaraj temple, which dates prior to the Jagannath temple in Puri. This is the Chausat Yogini. Again, it is one of the esoteric yogini sites, which is not found in many places in the country, the Raja Rani temple. Next. This is all part of the old town. As you see, we have a very strong Buddhist heritage. Excavations have been made. We have found a relic, which is shortly going to be placed in a museum that's being constructed in the Diamond Triangle. In December, we propose a huge event where we will have live chanting by monks. The museum will open. We are planning to plant the Bodhi tree sapling, and we are planning to have a conclave of different countries who can set up their monasteries there. And so December is going to be a huge event for us for Buddhist tourism. And I might like to mention to Mr. Mahanti that we have formed a task force so that things that we decide stay on and are continued thereafter. Next. Wildlife and tourism. That's the red crabs. So we have the Bhitarkanika National Park, where we have the crocodiles, olive ridley turtles. The coming Asian Athletic Championship has Oliver Ridley as its mascot. We have the Satkosia Tiger Reserves. You see the luxury tents there. It's right by the river, very pristine and beautiful site where you can go for jungle walks. We have the Nandankanan Zoo, that was the first to have the white tiger safari. Simlipal National Park, which is a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, rich diversity of nature. Next. Coming to ethnic tourism, that's a Bonda girl, very beautiful. And 62 tribes. Unfortunately, I can only give you a snapshot of a few. We have recently come out with a policy for PVTG areas. There was some issue earlier of foreign tourists visiting there. Now we have clarified, and that is on our website. You can see that. Next. Handicraft and handlooms is a very intrinsic part of our culture. Sand art is something that has developed recently but has had many followers. We have an international sand art festival in December. We have the surfing festival along with that, and we are again planning to have a month-long sand art festival, beach festival, where we'll integrate coastal walks, etc. with that. Next. Paintings, Pattachitra comes from the Jagannath temple. If you go there, you can see the Rath, the chariots, painted in Pattachitra. We have the palm leaf engraving. There's a village, Raghurajpur, that does all this. We have paintings, as I mentioned. Next. Handicrafts, silver filigree in Kathak. Stone and wood carvings. We have brass and bell metalware. This is dhokra casting done primarily in the tribal areas. We have terracotta and pottery. Very intricate designs. We have pipli applique. Different types of grasses that are woven into different kinds of products. And of course, handloom, which is this. Can you just stay there for a minute? Handloom, which is the strength of Odisha. In fact, I'd like to tell you a bit more about the handlooms. We have weavers in our state who are from, you all know that Emperor Ashoka got converted to Buddhism when he fought the Kalinga war, and Dholi Stupa commemorates that. From that, and he got converted because there was somebody to tell him about Buddhism. So Buddhism is prior to the conversion of Ashoka in Odisha, and we have Buddhist weavers dating back from that time who still follow Buddhism. I think Odisha is the only place in India where we have living, practicing Buddhist weavers. Not just that, we also have the old tradition of Ikat, which tells about the linkage with Southeast Asia. It is a yarn tie and dye, and it's only in Odisha that you have very intricate, circular kind of yarn tie and dye, which you don't find anywhere else in the world, I would say. So the tradition of handloom is very strong. We have whole villages where every household does handloom work, and these we want to promote. We have had an MOU, an understanding with the handloom and handicraft department, and we want to promote homestays and an immersive experience here. And that's one thing I would like to tell the audience, that in Odisha, what you get is a very, very authentic, immersive experience. There's nothing that is made up. There's nothing that is created for anybody. You see the way people live, and you can actually come and experience that lifestyle. Next. We have different dance forms. This is the Gotipua dance, Odissi dance, Sambalpuri in the western part of Odisha. This is Odissi dance in the backdrop of Konark Festival, which we have on a fixed date in December every year. We have the Mukteshwar Dance Festival in Bhubaneswar, again on fixed dates. Next. We have the Raja Rani, I'd shown that earlier. We have the music festival there. And nothing can be complete, no experience is complete without cuisines of Odisha. Very recently, we celebrated Rajya, and the delicacies, the kind of things that are prepared here, you will not find anywhere in the world. I hope they're going to have some pitha and some chenna podo and some experience of Odisha food, because it is really something very unique that you don't find anywhere else in the world. And I must mention here the temple food. The temple food shows how food was cooked many, many centuries back. That tradition has been preserved. That is something very unique. It has not got corrupted over the years. And this is the second part of my presentation about the policy ecosystem. I will not talk much about it because Mr. Mohanty has already told you next what kind of incentives are available. Single window clearance, we have a fixed date, 20th of every month, and every month we clear about 5 to 6 proposals that are coming. Lots of proposals are now coming. Next. Again, I would not dwell too much on this except to say that we have created a land bank, we have identified places, and there are lovely places along the coast that you can avail of. Next. I'd just like to point out a few investment opportunities. So land bank, convention centers, by the way, already coming up, but we are also seeking public-private partnerships for that. Next. These are the projections. So different opportunities that are available. One, of course, is luxury hotels. In fact, we are already talking to a couple of 5-star chains who are interested in not just setting up hotels, not just in Bhubaneswar, but also ecotourism resorts in some of the pristine locations of our state. Next. Aquariums, amusement parks, and water parks. Wellness and ecotourism projects. As I mentioned, there are lots of people interested in this. Cruise and houseboats. Again, this is an immense possibility. We do not have anything on the east coast, and I feel this is a field ripe for the picking. Next, beach and water sports. Again, the number of tourists that visit there, we do not have commensurate facilities. This is something that can be a good investment opportunity. Ropeways, adventure, and caravan tourism. We are planning to earmark sites in different places for caravans where people can set up. Golf courses, in fact, inquiries are coming from different places, even Maldives, Australia. They want to set up golf courses here. So we are looking at land for them. So there is possibility there. Knowledge and medical tourism. We have so many Ayurveda students passing out every year. That's a rich resource that can be tapped. Next. Tourism and hospitality training institutes. I must mention here that Odisha has set a huge target for skill development, and lots of, we have Mr. Subroto Bagchi as the head of that. A lot of work is being done under that. So this is again a potential that can be tapped. There is government funding for this. So this is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much for watching. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this superbly informative and crafted presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, key takeaways from her presentation: direct flight to KL by AirAsia, increasing domestic tourism visits and foreign tourist visits. The bouquet of tourism product portfolio presented by you, ma'am, is indeed inviting, and I would request Mr. Pranab Sarkar of IATO to kindly take note of this, and I would request all tour operators to kindly promote Odisha as a superb tourist destination. Ma'am, you talked about the task force has already been formed and the convention center is coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, it all needs now our support to this great mega state to increase tourism footfalls in this state. Thank you very much, ma'am. May I now request Sri T.K. Chand, MD NALCO, to kindly address the gathering.
His Excellency, Honorable Governor of
the State of Odisha, Dr. S.C. Jamir, Principal Secretary Madam Ahuja, Chairman Hotel and Restaurant Association of Odisha Mr. Mohanty, and Advisor of Hotel and Restaurant Association of Odisha Mr. Rathore, General Secretary Mr. Subudhi, Rahul, Consultant to Tourism, all the dignitaries, representatives of hotel associations, representatives of tour operators, different tourist establishments representatives, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, on behalf of CII, State of Odisha, being its chairman, and on behalf of NALCO as its CMD, I welcome all of you to this temple city of Odisha and also to this conclave on tourism. India is a huge market of subcontinental size for travel and tourism. Its diversity is its strength. It's a country with kaleidoscopic presentation of race, religion, ethnicity, and diversity. Go through 200 kilometers or more, you find a new place, unique with its people, geography, culture, tradition, food, dresses, customs. These diversities have offered manifold opportunities for many innovative tourism products. In fact, in short, I can say, tourism in India is an entrepreneur's paradise. While it is so, in the contemporary time, when there has been a lot of talk, some kind of also criticism that development is taking place, but there is no generation of employment. Look at a sector, tourism. Here comes both growth with employment. Growth as inclusive as bringing all the sections of the society, employment spreading to the marginal and fringe people in the society. That's how the tourism takes its importance as an economic activity. Not only that, look at any other economic activity, you will see that compared to those, its charge on environment is minimum. That's how it becomes a green approach to promote development. While tourism need to be promoted, in case of Odisha, it is more so because Odisha, a magically traditional state, and with its offerings many more in the areas of tourism, has always been a choice for spiritual tourism, cultural, heritage, and ecotourism. What matters now to make the state move from the state of one of the choices to make it the first choice. I have seen the presentation of Principal Secretary where she has propagated that they will make the D destination. That's how. It's a compliment to the government of Odisha that they have thought of making it as the first destination of choice. Look at the angle from the tourists. What they require when they come. They require that they should be aware of the thing. That is the brand Odisha promotion. Is the first thing. Suppose if I am not aware of a thing, I will not think of that thing. Second comes the connectivity. When they think of traveling, they think that what is the best connectivity available. Then comes the accommodation. Then many other things which makes the travel and tourism easy. In short, it is the ease of travel and tourism which is most critical. As in CII, This year, we have put tourism on focus, and our main subject for the discussion of this year is Odisha ahead, inclusive and responsive. If tourism is promoted, inclusiveness comes. Odisha is certainly and has the potential to be ahead of tourism, ahead in the economic activity if tourism is promoted more, and it is a responsible action because its charge on the environment is very minimum. Then, CIA, the last year we have conducted Odisha Invest, which has promoted in no uncertain terms brand Odisha across the country. This will also be continued because it has been decided that CIA will conduct 1 year Odisha Invest, and the next year will be Government of Odisha. In 2 years, once they will conduct, once we will be conducting. So this year, in association with Government of Odisha, that brand promotion will take place sometime in November, December. Second thing, that what we have thought of, that the intention to make tourism, the intention that tourists will come, their intention need to be translated into action. And this translation is done by the tourist operators, because in a busy society of contemporary times, everybody now depends on the tourist operator to make plan of their tourism. So critical role will be played by the tourist operators to trigger and to increase the footfalls of the tourist in Odisha, for which CI in association with Tourist Operators Association will be conducting a number of exposure workshops. Another thing that makes that also facilitates tourism is exchange visits. When I was chairman of CII in Andhra Pradesh, during that time we organized to promote tourism in Visakhapatnam. The ambassadors and high commissioners of Southeast Asia and South Asia to visit Vizag, and during that time we made an industrial visit also, because Vizag is also a very major industrial hub of Andhra Pradesh, and in fact that has immensely helped in increasing tourist potential of that district. And another thing that comes to the mind is different promotional workshops and conferences which CI will continue to make. Now coming to another responsibility that I am having as the chairman of NALCO, I can say that NALCO is the symbol of technological might of the state. NALCO's product travels 26 countries across South Asia, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, Europe and America. As the product travels souls of the state. Because when I have visited overseas, most of them they tell that yes, we know about Odisha because in your product literatures it is written about some of their cultures, etc. You write those things. So this is a very sure way of promoting the brand Odisha, and that NALCO will continue to do. Another thing is, apart from NALCO being a technologically and industrially strong industrial establishment, NALCO has also taken up to be the champion of cultural excellence of the state. Some measures have been taken in constituting various awards, etc. in different areas, promoting certain personalities. But what we are now thinking of, that attractiveness of a place of tourist importance increases when you build up legend. Sometime back in a UN delegation, I had gone to Vienna. There, a large number of tourists were gathering at one place. Then I asked one of my guide that what is that place? He told that you are looking at that small bridge. The guide is telling that this is the bridge. In the great old days of the Roman Empire, the prisoners will be taken to have the last sight of the sun before they are executed. So similarly, when we went to Vienna, there we found that people are gathering at one place. That is the place where the Mozart was staying. He has composed all these things there. So it is the legend which builds up the attractiveness of a tourist destination. 2 to 3 examples I will give. One is that if you go to the foothills of Dhauli, there is the 13th rock edict of the great emperor Ashoka is there. That is the place where he has been given the great designation that Devanam Pitra, Daiva Putra Ashok. But the building of a legend there, where the Ashok was there when Bhadrabahu administered that Buddhang Saranam Gacchami, Dharmang Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami, which converted him to Buddhism. These are some of the legends. If it is built up by finding that what are the any literature, any reference, etc. are there, then that creates a lot of attractiveness. Because it so happens when a tourist comes, he first of all gathers what are the things to be seen. Then they will tell, oh, look, that legend is there, I will try to find out that thing. When I went to Louvre Museum in France, I went immediately because I have read Dan Brown's the book, Da Vinci Code. So I went immediately to the ground floor to find out what is the relations to that. So that's sort of a thing which enhances curiosity of the persons from the legend. Look at Chilika. When the Chilika is there, we have heard the legend that Gajpati, when he defeated Kanchi king and is bringing the princess Padmavati, that great poet is writing that Nilimare Bama Charu Kesapaso, Tonila Vichiki Kola Upahaso. The type of thing, that legend need to be built up. So what we thought, that if some of the NGOs come forward, NALCO will be partnering with them to build up coffee book tables on legend building, which will go a long way in promoting tourism in Odisha. Another thing that we have thought of, that NALCO conducts many industrial exhibitions overseas. In the coming days, NALCO will be celebrating India Day in Toronto. So there, apart from encasing the industrial might and manufacturing might of India, as well as the state of Odisha, we will also be showcasing Odisha as in one of its sections. At present, NALCO has been given the responsibility to develop the iconic city of Puri under Prime Minister Swachh Bharat Abhijan. We are investing around 70 crores of rupees for this purpose. Apart from many of the things like facilities like Jatri Nivas, multi-purpose parking space, etc. One of the things which has impressed me that they are also developing a heritage corridor, the corridor in which Bhagavan Chaitanya has moved. So that small things will definitely promote the tourism. In addition to this, I am also the chairman of Aluminium Association of India. Aluminium Association of India has decided that Odisha is, in a sense, aluminium capital of India, with 60% of production of aluminium, 70% or more of production of alumina. It is eminently placed to be the capital of aluminium, and accordingly, association have discussed with all its partners to develop a state-of-art aluminium museum, which will give the entire history of aluminium, starting from bauxite mining to high-end product making. That will also, in course of time, will become a place of great tourist importance. When I had gone to Montreal, I found that Alcanada's activities there have created the entire city. That entire tourist attraction is concentrated on aluminium. Aluminium bridge, people are going to see the bridge, tower, all those things have been made. In the coming days, in the next 10 years, it is expected, it is estimated that the contribution of hospitality and tourism will increase from around 70 billion in GDP to 160 billion. That means it will be more than 3 times. In terms of employment, it will move from 38 million to 46 million by 2026. If within 2 years such a huge change is going to come in the travel and tourism sector, definitely Government of Odisha having an ambitious target of 3 million ton creation of job and making a strong growth in their GDP need to look very focusedly and specifically in the area of promotion of tourism. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you very much, sir. Your statement, taking destination Odisha as from one of the choices to the choice, is indeed very encouraging, sir. And of course, you stressed on a new aspect, that is mining tourism. May I now invite His Excellency Dr. S.C. Zamir, Governor of Odisha, to kindly address the gathering. Your Excellency.
Dignitaries on the dais, media persons, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be here for the inauguration of Odisha Tourism Conclave 2017. I would like to congratulate the Hotel and Restaurant Association of Odisha for organizing such an important event to promote, support, and coordinate the effort of tourism industry stakeholders and partners. There is no need to tell before this august gathering how incredibly important our tourism industry is, but it is important on what we need to do to make the most of it. Occasions such as this has immense importance as it gives a vibrant platform to deliberate on various key features for a thriving tourism industry. For too long, tourism has been low down on as a service sector. In fact, tourism is a fiercely competitive market requiring skills, talent, and enterprise. It is fundamental to the rebuilding and rebalancing of our economy. It is one of the best and fastest ways of generating the jobs that we need so badly. Tourism has become one of the major players in the international trade and commerce and represents one of the prime sources of income for many nations. Travel and tourism play an extensive role in stimulating economic sectors such as transport, food, accommodation, entertainment, handicrafts, shopping, wellness, healthcare, and education. This is the case with the state of Odisha. The state has so much to be proud of and so much to show off to the rest of the world. It has the potential to compete with any place on the earth because of its strategic location and art and culture. The beauty of nature in Odisha is equally fascinating with the beauty of art and culture. The state has many historic monuments, temples, beautiful beaches, a rich art and culture showcasing the brilliance of artists and artisans, enchanting natural beauty, fascinating fairs and festivals. This leaves viewers wondering on exquisite sculpture, design and architecture developed long years back. Over the years, the tourism industry in Odisha has grown significantly. As regards development of tourism products, the government has embarked upon a range of initiatives in areas including ecotourism and heritage tourism. These initiatives have focused both on introducing new attractions and improving existing ones. The government is fully committed to develop policies that will make Odisha a more tourist-friendly destination. Among its top priorities are convenience of tourists and travel facilitation. With the air connectivity to Malaysia, the Southeast Asian country, and focus on exploring ways to connect with other countries in near future, the state hopes to facilitate the travel of more tourists to Odisha. One message which has been particularly loud and clear is that in Odisha there is a lot more scope for exploiting the state's unique cultural heritage in further developing its attractiveness to visitors. The more vibrant will be tourism sector, more it will be more beneficial to the state in terms of benefiting the economy and in providing direct and indirect employment. I would like to stress upon mentioning efforts to promote better services quality to complement improvements in physical attractions. On marketing, it is a vital component of tourism industry. As part of stepping up promotions in key destinations, campaigns should be designed and conducted to show overseas markets in vibrance and diversity of experience that this state offers. It is important to harness the link between heritage and tourism. Green groups have to be called for more to be done to preserve our environment and to promote the green side of our country life. Those interested in cultural activities and the performing arts have also come forward to stress the potential in these areas. But tourism is about more than economics. You should be proud of your potential and what the state has to offer. The state has in coming days an unprecedented opportunity to take tourism industry to a whole new level. Adding to the world-famous Card Festival, many more exciting things are going to happen in the state in the coming days, with holding of so many big international sporting events like Asian Athletics Championship, Men's World Hockey League Final, and Men's Hockey World Cup 2018. This will surely put the state at the central stage of the world. Tourism should be promoted, as it is one of the key drivers of the economy, and it is also a great bearing on other sectors. It alters the lifestyles of people and make broadening of outlook. It is strongly felt that more focused approach and right marketing strategies are very much needed to showcase tourism potential. From the tourism perspective, this conclave holds immense importance. It provides a useful opportunity to take stock of what you have and where you stand, as well as to share the experience of other jurisdictions. This annual activity by the organizers has a focus on tourism development, pulling together the diverse interests in the industry. I have fascinated at the amount of interest and the level of concern in matters that concern the tourism industry. I'm sure the conclave will significantly help in broadening your horizon by strengthening your appeal to various visitors who would love going on holidaying in Odisha. I once again congratulate the organizers for their role in the overall tourism development of Odisha. As such, I believe there is no better time than now for Odisha to take full advantage of the next wave of growth with the creation of meaningful and high-value products accompanied by excellence in service quality. I have no doubt that the tourism industry in the state will be able to attract greater number of tourists willing to visit Odisha for a first-hand experience. I look forward to seeing the tourism industry soaring higher in the coming years, benefited to a great way by productive and fruitful deliberations at the conclave. I believe that with resilience, innovation, product quality, and excellent service standards, tourism industry will be a major contributor and drive the state economy forward. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your motivating words of wisdom and also guiding us and making us realize that yes, your statement of the day, let us be proud of our tourism potential. Tourism, a key driver of the economy. This is the statement of the day made by Your Excellency, and this is exactly what we strive to endeavor where we are going to reach. May I now request Mr. J.K. Mohanty, Chairman, HRAO, to kindly present the mementos. Thank you very much, sir. May I now request Sri Subudhi, Secretary General HRAO, to kindly give the vote of thanks.
I feel honored and privileged to get an opportunity to give a vote of thanks on this historic occasion. 17 June 2017 is indeed a very memorable day in the history of Hotel and Restaurant Association of Odisha, when His Excellency is with us for the inauguration of second Odisha Tourism Conclave. On behalf of HRAO, entire fraternity of tourism-linked professions, and my own behalf, convey deep regards and hearty thanks to His Excellency, the Governor of Odisha, for gracing the inaugural ceremony and sharing with us his vision for the development of tourism to make Odisha tourism a destination in the map of the world. We are greatly encouraged by his gracious presence and immensely benefited by his inspiring address. We assure His Excellency to continue to work in the direction of creating knowledgeable tourism for the society. Dear friends, we have today with us our most endeavoring Mrs. Arati Ahuja, as Principal Secretary, Tourism, Government of Odisha, who is known for her selfless commitment for developing Odisha in a tourism destination and designing an architecture in the development of tourism proclamation. We wish to express our thanks to Dr. P.K. Chand, CMD NALCO, and Chairman CII Odisha chapter for his gracious presence and extended his hands to make this event successful. Further, we are grateful to Sri Deepak Rathore, Advisor HRAO, for his inspiring welcome address. Ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheel starts rolling weeks ago with the energetic leadership of Sri J.K. Mahanti, Chairman HRO. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues of HRO who knows their job and result-oriented. I must thank the press and media people. Without their help, this convention's message cannot be reached to the public. My special thanks to the invited delegates such as politicians, ministers, government officials, representatives from different associations and relation with tourism and panel speakers. I thanks to the management and staff of the Swasti Premium for their best service to make this program success. They worked smilingly shoulder to shoulder to program successful. At the end, I once again thanks His Excellency Governor of Odisha, Dr. S.C. Jamir, and the assembly in the hall for their august presence among us on this historic occasion. Thank you all. Bande Utkala Janini. Jai Hind.
जन मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उत्कल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशिष मांगे गावे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल